Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Friends at Gameology, hosted by MoonlightCrew.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less. Descent Journeys in the Dark, 2nd edition. Descent. A campaign game. Something I was very much looking forward to. It's a miniature skirmish game in which one player, it goes, 2 to 5? We always played with 5. I mean, we've played several with different numbers, but the campaign was with 5. I was the overlord, and everyone else was. So I controlled the monsters on this map. Can you see that? So I controlled the monsters on this map, and the other folks all controlled one hero apiece. And so I had these nifty monster cards, and they have cool abilities and stats as to how far they can move and how many dice they roll and what type of dice, because some of these are better than others. And so we got the dice, and we've got their health and how many hit points they can take. Whereas the heroes have similar, except they also have another mechanic where they can take on extra fatigue
to move.
that monsters don't have. What are you gonna do? I'm not complaining. I'm not bitter. I'm not resentful.
Who won?
Let's just go right into simplicity versus complexity.
This game is complex. What you do on your turn is not necessarily complex. You can, as a hero, you can move and attack, attack, and that's and you have a few other things, but they have a nice little play area. We don't have that you can do, so you can rest to get all your fatigue back. There's a couple other things you can do, but the play area tells you. But the small timing things make it really complex. We went to the rule book so many times to figure out, wait, what does that count as? How does that work? Also, every quest is different and has its special rules. So every time you're in a new quest, you're like, wait, what are we trying to do? How does this work? How do I pick this up? How do I do this? So there are a lot of small rules. There's a lot of them.
This game is so unbelievably complex. We had to go online and just look up on like a Wikipedia of sorts to figure out how to play pretty much every single time. Like there was a card, like what does this mean? And they were not. I mean, it was just fiddly. It's a fiddly, really tough to play game. It's not tough because the concepts are hard to grasp, but because everything is so like I can see it one way and someone else can see it another, and then someone else agree with me, and someone else will see it totally another, and we're like all of them seem correct, but only one of them can be. So I mean, this was not an easy game to play. Very complex. Luck versus strategy.
So we played as different roles, and so our luck is going to be different. So I think this game has a lot of luck. There's also strategy, and the introductory quest is we won. We smashed them. I think that's probably how it always happens. But after that, we did not. I think we won 1 or 2 encounters. But we didn't win any of the quests. And so I think once we played the first encounter and we lost terribly, we learned, okay, timing matters. We need to figure this thing out. And so we tried better. We did better, but we still had no chance against the monsters. Rude. We had no chance against the monsters, it seemed. We couldn't do anything. It was more of a race. A lot of the games were races. And the strategy changed every single time. And so it was hard for us to know what we should do. We had to change our strategy every time. But I do think there's a lot of luck because you're doing dice rolling. And we rolled this X, which means you can't attack, way more than Tom did.
What are you gonna do? I rolled all these dumb blanks, which meant all their attacks hit me. So here's the thing. This game is really strategic. Clogging these corridors so the heroes can't move through you or around you is how you win. And so, yes, there's luck, and yes, they rolled a bunch of X's. I rolled some X's. I've rolled blanks. They rolled blanks. Sometimes you get a freak die roll and you die. Sometimes you get a freak die roll and you win. It's like unbelievable. But for the most part, this game has a lot of strategy. But I tend to think that strategy is overwhelmingly in the Overlord's favor. Whereas even they have all these cool abilities to try to combat that, which were just devastating to my forces. And to the point, let's just go right into fun versus boring. To the point where it wasn't fun, because you get a monster group out on the table, and if you don't take the first turn, which you almost never do as the Overlord unless you win it in some way, one of your monster groups could be dead by the time it's your turn. You're like, well, I had 3 monster groups out, now I only have 2, and so I don't get to play with that anymore. I never got to play with it, and it's like I don't like how the game punishes you in not being able to play it. Same thing with the heroes constantly taking away actions. so many games. I mean, I still won, which is why I think it's overwhelmingly in the Overlord's favor. Although folks may disagree, and I respect that. But like a lot of them would keep me to where I only had one action instead of two, and so I started only being able to like, okay, I moved, it's your turn again, and they all take their half-hour turn talking amongst themselves, and I'm like, all right, I moved, it's your turn again, because my actions were taken away from me. The game is punishing you by saying you can't play the game. This was not what I expected when I got this game. When I opened the box, I thought for sure it'd be like a really cool skirmish battle game, a dungeon crawl, but it turns out to be Tetris. It's just Tetris. You are fitting pieces in here so that other people can't fit their pieces. And that's not what I wanted out of this gigantic production game. And look at this production quality. That's not what I wanted out of this. I did not find this to be fun. I found this to be disappointingly not fun. It wasn't boring. It wasn't fun.
Yeah, I tend to be the same. It was Tom would the entire time would be like, "Oh, I'm not doing well. Oh my goodness." And then he would win. If he's not having fun and he's winning, then it's just I wanted to be able to do more, and most of the time we were just blocked, or we would get unblocked just to be blocked again. And so it wasn't what I thought. And I think that's what makes it not as fun for me, is because it wasn't what I was expecting. So if you go in expecting it's going to be this puzzle where you have to figure it out, then maybe you will really enjoy it. So that's what it is. Know that's what it is, and it's not that much of a skirmish fighting game. You get in other things. So
Board Game
BGG
Geek
rating.
rating, I would say probably a 3. It's well designed for what it is. I don't ever want to play it.
Yeah, I would maybe get a 4 or 5. I'd play a quest here and there, but I don't think I would do a campaign again. So, Descent, Journeys in the Dark, 2nd edition. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.